Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you, always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP, so I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Wherever you are in this great, great world, we're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from John Squire, CZ, drops the bomb. What if what we're seeing so far wasn't the real bull run? The true bull market might be about to begin, and XRP is built for it. I've been saying this for a while now. I think what we've seen so far for XRP was just a correction back in November. I still think the best part of this run this cycle is ahead of us. I think we are going to see an absolutely epic blast off for XRP, and I'm telling you, you got to be here for that. Don't get shaken out by this market. Don't let other people shake you out. I see so many naysayers. Whenever the price of XRP dips, those people are either overinvested or just frustrated and way too emotional. Stay positive because ahead is the exciting times. The worst of what we've been through is behind us. Now remember, 2022, 2023, and most of 2024, during the crypto crackdown and FTX collapsing out, it seemed like crypto was just not going to catch a break. Then all of a sudden the election came and this entire market turned around. But I still think that was just a correction on the price of XRP. I think we have a long way to go. People don't realize how little XRP is left escrow in ripples. 37.3% of the XRP, 37.3% of the liquid in ripples $3.50 billion. About 3.5% of Chris Larsen, $2.30 billion. As much as 2.3% Arthur Brito, with 1.3% already covered. That's close to 44.4% of the supply. Next, consider the institution's goal. 3IQ has 45 million XRP, in addition to the 29.6 million XRP held by ETF. The best part is that these small firms aren't trillion-dollar behemoths. When JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs put billions of XRP into cold storage, it will be back to 2.91 when he posted it. I think what we're seeing is BlackRock acquiring XRP behind the scenes, just like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. Scarcity will hit sooner than people think. Look at the companies making XRP treasuries. They aren't very big either. Just wait until the really big companies start creating XRP treasuries and using them for cross-border payments. The moment someone jumps on board, it will trigger a chain reaction. And all of a sudden, every major retailer and bank will desire to own this cryptocurrency. This is due to the fact that it addresses a real-world issue. Raking Ripple's managing director, according to Casey Craddock, Ripple can use its extensive international connections to encourage blockchain technology adoption in the United Kingdom, which will boost technological innovation and cooperation between the two countries. It's clear to see where things are heading with Ripple and XRP. After all, we recently had the President and Treasurer Scott Bessent in the UK, and Ripple met with both the US Treasury and the UK Treasury. There's a good reason why Ripple regularly convenes at these large-scale roundtable discussions. The current focus is on laying the groundwork for a new financial system, with Ripple playing a key role. If you're already sold on XRP as the future of Ripple, you might want to consider updating SWIFT to compete with blockchain in terms of transaction speeds. Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen answers a crucial question on XRP. The young man was wondering what would happen if SWIFT were to release a significant update to catch up to Ripple. According to Chris Larsen, this is the way things work within the system because everyone there is aware of the impact it will have. I would want to address your question regarding SWIFT. The issue with that perspective is that SWIFT solely handles data. Their correspondent banking partner handles value, which is completely disconnected from the concept of the Internet of Value. The main idea is that XRP and Interledger can get rid of the correspondent, which is where the action is, you know? That's where the majority of the inefficiency lies. It's also the source of potential settlement risks, failures, and wasted time. Plus, it lacks the necessary combination of competences to implement your proposed solution. Chainlink and Ripple are not competing with each other because they handle different use cases. For example, Chainlink handles data, while Ripple handles settlements. Swift, on the other hand, primarily handles messages. Ripple, on the other hand, handles processing and settlements. In other words, it could handle the entire process without outsourcing. Chris Larsen made a good point when he said that Swift only deals with data. About 3/4 of American cryptocurrency holders believe the United States should take the lead in digital assets because of the cost savings that crypto allows. Streamlined processes, greater openness, and reduced prices are the two most important factors, according to most respondents. When considering this, it's important to keep in mind that we are still fighting inflation and that many people are working 2 or even 3 jobs just to make ends meet. As a result, most people would say, if they could lower the cost, I wouldn't really care about the faster systems. However, transparency is also important because it allows us to know exactly what's happening during the entire process, and most people would still choose a lower cost. One thing that crypto does is cut out all the middlemen, anticipated changes. Real-world value moving across the XRP ledger at the speed of blockchain technology is being considered by Trump's gold reserve as a potential tokenization tool. This marks the dawn of a new era in finance, not merely adoption. Take a listen to this. He also says that gold can become money. The U.S. is working on this right now. And I would tend to agree that it's at least an idea that's being floated as, hey, how do we get rid of $35 trillion in U.S. denominated debt? Yeah, and move it on to something else. And frankly, using a tokenized real-world asset and making gold money again. Gold could be made money as easily as a CBDC could. So if you look at Pax Gold or XOT, eating one of those could be, directly to right, and that's tokenized. But again, you're talking about Tether, that's a different thing. Versus it's a weirder trust model. What I think will happen is if you can get the really old people involved, if you can get like Lloyd's and the real ones, but really get like Brinks and StoneX and some of these companies that, hey, we've been around for 700 years and never had a stolen nice gold. Precisely that allows them to say, look, we get constant audits and attestations, how much gold is here, and then it allows you to essentially transact in a subcent of gold because you can tokenize down to whatever you need it to be, which actually is bad news for silver, by the way. So we already know they're working on tokenizing gold. I don't think gold will become the future money. I think they will back a digital dollar with gold because if you have a gold-backed digital dollar, it's definitely going to be superior to the dollar we have today. I mean, I had a laugh at that because the dollar we have right now, it consistently loses value. I mean, you could put money into savings. And if you let it sit there for a few years, it's actually going to lose more and more value along the way. So tokenized gold. The reason that a lot of people don't like the idea of this is because then the gold becomes digital. So what does that do to their precious Bitcoin? It makes it more irrelevant. And we're going to see tokenized gold flowing across the XRP ledger. That is going to happen. We're also going to see gold-backed currencies flowing across the XRP ledger as well. Because what's China trying to do? They want to come up with the gold-backed currency. Why do you think all these central banks have been buying up all this gold over the last few years? Because they're going to make sure that we go back to an asset-backed system, no more petroleum dollar, no more dollar that continues to lose value along the way. And I think China looks at it like this. If they have a gold-backed currency in the BRICS that would be superior to the current US dollar. And this was a great post. So September 2022, our September 22nd, 2025, a Ripple announcement that will live in history, 5,000 XRP, 15,000 locked in XRP ledger. DeFi could easily make you a millionaire with no risk over a 10-year period. So when I first saw this, I was like, okay, I get this. This is about putting your XRP to work for you. So here's the assumption, starting price of 5,000 XRP, now $3. This is the cash flow you may expect to get every month based on the increasing value of your XRP as the price rises. The yield is 5% per year. paid in RLRUSD. The compound annual growth rate is 50%. The time horizon is 10 years. The returns are gross interest paid out in RLRUSD. The final XRP token value is $173 per XRP, and the future XRP price is $864,976. He basically showed you how you'll earn interest along the way, and that interest will accumulate to $106,000. However, you never sold the initial 5,000 XRP, so after all this time, XRP is now worth $864,976 at its current price of $173. That's how you can get generational wealth. Think about like this, okay? So say you were going to take the interest that you're gaining in real life, USD, and you're reinvesting it back into XRP. All of a sudden, the final value is going to be a lot higher because XRP is going to continue to rise in value over time. And XRP is going to hit $173 way before 10 years, and most people are calling for 100 plus in this cycle. So even by 2028, I think the daily price on XRP by then is going to be well over 100. So instead of this happening over the course of 10 years, this could happen over the course of the next couple of years. But this is why it's so important not to sell your entire bag. Take some profit. There's nothing wrong with that. But then put the rest of that XRP to work for you without ever selling. I listen up because I think we could see 5 to 8 billion inflows in a month or a few months. Keep in mind that these assets have utility, which is why the market cap myth doesn't apply to them. Then, the multiplier effect shows how much money is needed to break through the buy and sell walls and push the price up. So, the market cap multiplier will play a major role in determining where the price of XRP goes during this run. Remember, it doesn't take a lot of money to move the price of XRP. This is from Vincent Scott. The idea of taxing it is similar to not taxing it at all. They print the money, so there's no deduction. Oh, I see. So what he's getting at is that tips are no longer taxed on anything above $25,000. The reason I wanted to touch on this quickly is because I recently discussed in a video the possibility of doing away with the tax on American-made cryptocurrencies. However, I believe there should be a limit, so maybe you could deduct $100,000 from your crypto earnings. So, for example, if you were to cash out $1 million from your crypto, you wouldn't have to pay tax on $900,000 instead of the full million. I'm sure that's the direction that would go. But you know, it's Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, has stated that the company's goal is to become a super app that offers a wide range of financial services and eventually replaces traditional banks. Armstrong believes that cryptocurrency has the right to become people's primary financial account because cryptocurrencies are less expensive and more efficient than traditional banking. I still trust the bank more than I trust Brian Armstrong. And that's just me. Why? Where's all the XRP going? Why doesn't he tell us why the XRP is drying up on Coinbase and the speculation? Because right now, everybody's speculating on this. It's going to BlackRock, it's going to JP Morgan, it's going to someone else. Everybody's buying up all the XRP through Coinbase. Why don't they put out an announcement where all this XRP is going? The other thing is Coinbase always goes down whenever this market seems to take off. We've seen that when Bitcoin was achieving new all-time highs, Coinbase kept having downtime. And that's why whenever somebody says, I'm going to sell the absolute top, most people are never going to buy the absolute top. You might get close to you might come very close to that. But usually whenever this market is seeing full-on euphoria, we see these exchanges experience some downtime. We're going to witness that over the next couple of months. But I think what we're going to witness is Ripple is going to become a bank, and us as XRP holders, we're going to become the branches of Bank of Ripple. That's what I see happening in the future. I anticipate that more now than ever before. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night. The transcription was performed by TurboScribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.